Hi, you guys. Can you hear me? Let me know in the chat, please. I have no idea. I can't hear myself. Hey, thank you. Hi there. Can you hear me now when I'm talking? Can you guys hear me now when I'm talking? Yeah, perfect. Okay. Hi, you guys. Oh my god, I didn't really expect someone to actually show up, but here you are. And I think that's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, guys, for 100 subscribers. I don't really have this stream really planned out. Yeah, but the goal for today is to rank all these 100 instruments, and I have gathered up 100 different instruments. So let's see if I can make this shift downwards as well, so you guys can see which instruments I've chosen. We have a bunch of... I can't read all of them out to you because that's going to take the whole stream. But here is the list. And I expect some of you not to know all the instruments. And that's absolutely fine. If you don't know the instruments, just let me know and I'll explain what the instrument is. But yeah, here's the different instruments I've chosen. And they were almost in alphabetical order when I put them up on this list, but now they're not because I've been moving them around a bit. Well, there is the recorder actually. I had it here. I saw it. Oh no, where did it go? I am so sure I had the recorder on here. Yeah, I even have alto recorder, see? Yeah, no, you would think the Canon is the best instrument, but that's actually not true. Everyone here should know what the best instrument is, because I have already told you what the best instrument is. Anyone remember? Hi, thank you. Oh my gosh, there's actually people showing up. Okay, well, we can start by putting the best instrument up on top. Right away. Oh gosh. Let's see. Yeah, so I put actually 4 recorders on here. I think I have both soprano recorder, alto recorder, and soprano, alto, tenor, and bass recorder. Actually, but yeah, here's the best instrument coming up on top. I don't know if you can tell which instrument that is, but it's obviously the best one. So we'll start there, that's what we know. This bass clarinet. And the bass clarinet is the best instrument simply because I play the bass clarinet. I don't know if you knew that, but I play the bass clarinet, so that's obviously the best one. Alright. Anyone else have any opinion on that? And if not, actually, even if you do have an opinion on that, that's too bad for you. Because it is the best instrument. Now let's see, let's just shift down the list for now and shift them up and down, whether they're better. Okay, for violin and piano, I feel like the piano is a bit overrated in a way. And that is simply because it's bass clarinet recital for 200 subs. No. Okay, maybe, but no. Okay, I'll say no, but then maybe I'll change my mind. That's how that's gonna work. But okay, I think the violin is better than the piano, and that's only because the violin is portable for starters, and the piano is kind of a bit overrated. I've talked about having a video about why the piano is a bit overrated, but it's gonna stay like that. Is the viola better than the piano though? I'm not so sure about that one. Um, oh, really? You don't think so? Well, maybe. We'll see. Let's shift down. Okay. The cello. I personally think the cello is not better than the violin, piano, and the viola. I did live with a violist for like a year, and I have never known anyone to be that. Yeah, you're right. It's not so squeaky. You're absolutely right. What am I thinking? Of course, the viola is better than the violin. You guys, let's shift it up. Yeah, okay, we're shifting the viola up over the violin because, you know, you're right. It's not as squeaky, and we prefer not squeaky. That's why the bass clarinet is definitely better than the clarinet as well. But the cello won't come up here, and that's simply because it's... I don't know how to explain. It sounds squeaky even though it's in a low register, you know? If you get me. So, but also the double bass is clearly better than cello. And if you don't agree, then too bad for you. Okay. Yeah, right. But okay. We have the harp is next. We'll get to the clarinet. We'll get to the clarinet, I promise. But let's do the harp. I personally definitely think harp is better than cello. I hope you guys agree with me on that, because otherwise I don't know what you're doing here. The harp is clearly superior. Yeah, right? And the harp, I think the harp is better than the double bass, but that's only because it has more strings. Yeah, it does feel muted higher up on the fingerboard. But yeah, okay, we're shifting the harp up above the double bass. And I prefer the sound of the harp over the sound of the piano. So for that reason, I am going to shift the harp above the piano. But yeah. And honestly, I'm gonna be real honest, you guys. The harp has more strings than the violin and the viola put together. And you know, I just really think that the harp is better than the violin and the viola. So I'm going to put the harp above both the violin and the viola. Right, the harp is better. Okay, so then we have all these, and the automaton. Does everyone know what the automaton is? Am I even pronouncing that right? I don't know, but everyone knows what the automaton is. Right? Yeah, I'm just going to go with everyone knowing that. You think so? I really like the automaton. It's kind of a fake instrument. It feels like a toy, and I think it's advertised as a toy as well, but it's a really clever toy. That's why I kind of like it. I don't think it's better than the cello, but I definitely think it's a cool instrument. But it's cute. Like, the automaton is so cute. I personally really like the automaton, but it's not coming above the cello. Okay, let's shift down. Erhu? I don't know how to pronounce this instrument. I'm so sorry, but Erhu? Maybe? Anyway, it's definitely better than the automaton. I don't want to offend anyone, but you know, it's yeah, it's definitely better than the automaton, and it's a bit. If we're going by squeakiness, I will say that the erhu is more squeaky than the cello, but it has such a special sound compared to the cello. The cello is just like, okay, it's just some strings and it kind of goes squeak, but the erhu has like a special squeak. So I'm thinking we put the erhu above the cello, but I don't want to put it above the double bass, because the double bass is a really, really nice string instrument. Actually, now when I think about it, I'm gonna put the double bass higher up, because I think the double bass is better than the viola. Like, you guys, it's definitely better than the viola, and that means by proxy it's gonna be better than all of them. So we're gonna put the double bass up on third place for now, until we get any better instruments. Well, cello does have a nice sound, but only in the low register, and then you might as well have a double bass. So, you know, that's my point. It's you might as well use a double bass. Okay, I think I'm happy with the erhu placement for now, because I think the piano... Well, do I really think the piano is better than the erhu? I don't really think so. Let's shift the erhu above the piano, but I don't think it's better than the violin. So, it's staying there. Gucheng. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm so sorry if it's not. But the gucheng, I really, really like the sound of the gucheng. It's... I love like how the timbre kind of works. You've probably seen the 2 sets video where they try to play the gucheng, and the teacher, I can't remember her name, but she was amazing, and I just fell for the gucheng when I saw that video. So that's coming higher up. It's definitely coming over the automaton. Guzeng. I don't know. But okay, it's coming about the automaton, and it's coming about the cello, and clearly the piano, because I don't really like the piano. And I think I like it better than the erhu as well. But I don't think... Yeah! I'm like, maybe it's as good as a harp, but I do think I would prefer the double bass over a guzeng. I still don't know. Yeah, guzeng. I really don't know, but yeah. I think I'm going to go through the list again after. So I'm going to place it here for now, but in the 6th place, but we'll come back to it. And the koto is, to my knowledge, basically a Japanese guzeng. I don't really know which is better, but we're definitely shifting the koto up to the guzeng, because they sound pretty similar to me. I don't really know what the difference is, except that this one is Japanese and this one's Chinese, I think. So that's what we're going for now. And then we have the Langeleik, and I bet some of you don't know what the Langeleik is. And basically the Langeleik is is basically the Norwegian answer to the guzeng and the koto. At least it has a very similar sound. It's a traditional Norwegian instrument that I've actually tried playing. But I think I'm going to place it above all of these other instruments, but not above the koto and the guzeng, because I prefer... Yeah, it's a Norwegian string instrument. If you know the guzeng, it kind of looks like that, but not really. It's a bit flatter. And yeah, you could probably Google it. It's a really nice instrument, but it's a bit limited. So it's not as great as the koto or the guzeng, but it's pretty good. I prefer that over the erhu, the piano, the cello, or the automaton. So, yeah, we're going to put it below the koto and the koto, I don't know, and the guzeng. Yeah. Okay, guitar. Well, I kind of like the guitar, like the acoustic, like classical guitar. I'm not going to talk about the electric guitar, because that's a whole different story, though I do own both. I don't play either, but I do own both. But the guitar, I think the guitar definitely is better than the automaton. I do think the guitar is better than the cello. I am not so sure I think the guitar is better than the piano. I kind of like the timbre of the guitar more than the timbre of the piano, but it's like super difficult to compose for. You know? Yeah, we're going for classical guitar. I'm not thinking like electric guitar or like country or... Yeah, the thing is, okay, hear me out. My composition teacher plays the guitar, and yeah, he has some interesting techniques that makes it have so much more different timbres. But I don't. Well, the piano is not. I don't like the piano, you guys. I don't really like the piano, but I also kind of don't like the guitar because it's so difficult to compose for if you don't actually play the guitar yourself. Well, we'll leave it like this. I think the guitar definitely is better than the cello because the cello is too squeaky, and except in the low register. The bass guitar, on the other hand, I don't know if everyone knows this, but there's actually an acoustic bass guitar that exists, and while I don't think it sounds great, it's a really cool sound still. So I'm thinking I'm gonna place it like below the cello. Piano gang is gonna come for me. Yeah, the piano gang just come for me. I'm fine. I'm okay with that. You guys, I'm okay with the piano gang coming for me. I will fight them, all of them. I have 5 sharks, and my 5 sharks will back me, so it's fine. But okay, the bass guitar is not better than the cello, but it's better than the automaton. You know? Okay, the accordion. I know a lot of people think like, oh, the accordion, isn't that like a country instrument? But no, I have heard classical accordion, and I love the sound of classical accordion. One of my best friends actually played the classical accordion, and I think it's a great instrument, so it's gonna come up high, I think. Definitely above the Gutseng, Koto, and Langeleik. I am not sure if I'll put it above the violin, just because the violin has kind of a sweeter sound. It's a bit insisting, the sound of the accordion, but it really it has so much well you just have to hear it used classically, I think, because I also thought like, oh, the accordion is like a super like weird instrument to have, and like it's just oompa music, and like you don't really have that tone. But classical accordion is actually really nice, and I really hope everyone here will check out classical accordion when you're done watching the stream. Don't do it yet, but definitely check out classical accordion because it sounds like a miniature organ in a way, and it's really cool, and it has so much different timbres, and it sounds great, especially Bach on the accordion. I promise you're gonna have your mind blown. And also one of my best friends played the accordion, so I'm a bit biased, but she introduced me to the classical accordion, and I'm supporting her. She's amazing, and the accordion is pretty damn good instrument. It's better than the Gutseng, the Koto, and the Langeleik, and the Erhu, and the piano. Yeah, and it kind of works as a portable piano as well, because everything you can play on the piano, you can kind of play on the accordion. I'm sorry, my screen shut off I just have to fix that. Let's see, this one got to come over here, and then we're gonna do this one. Let's see, technical issues. Okay, we're back. Okay, we're moving on from the accordion for now, because that apparently, well, maybe in the video about the classical accordion Bach could be a thing. I might actually ask her to help me out with that video, but I can't promise anything unless she says yes. Now we've gotten to the alto instruments, and the first one is the alto voice, and that's the voice I identify with. I don't know about you guys, but I identify with the alto voice. And I think the alto voice is nicer than the automaton. For starters, I think it is nicer than the bass guitar. I definitely think it's nicer than a cello. I'm not sure if I think it's nicer than the guitar. In general, I find myself not loving the voice stuff. Like, I like when you have like a choir singing a very nice chord, or like I have composed for choir, and I love the sound of the alto voice. So I think, yeah, I think below the guitar but above the bass guitar and the cello is a good placement. I don't know what you guys think about that, but alto is nice. Okay, yeah. Let's shift down. It's the alto flute. Have you guys heard the alto flute? Because that's the superior flute. Like, it's an amazing sound. I love like the kind of breathy sound of it. And I think it's gonna come a bit high up actually, because yeah, I think we're gonna place the alto flute up here, up on 9th place, because I think it's better than the Langeleic, though the Langeleic is kind of the same as the Kodo, but Langeleic is kind of a not as cool Kodo and not as cool Guzheng, but I don't think the alto flute is as good. Well, do I maybe think the accordion is worse than the alto flute? Yeah, I actually do think so. I think the alto flute should come up here, because I like the sound. The timbre of the alto flute is... ooh, we love that. Okay, we're shifting down. The alto recorder. That's a different story. I don't love the sound of the alto recorder, actually. I prefer the tenor recorder. But I do like the alto recorder more than the automaton. I feel like we're going to shift the automaton all the way down as we move, but it's just going to happen by accident. The alto recorder. I think the alto recorder is better than the bass guitar, just because they like the acoustic bass guitar and is kind of boring to sound. Like, it doesn't really sound much. It's just kind of there. And yeah, I do like the alto recorder more than the cello, but I don't think I like it more than the alto voice. I think the combination of the alto voice and the alto recorder is a good one. Oh, there's some discussion in the chat about the alto versus tenor recorder. You guys, I'm with tenor recorder superiority, because I prefer like the kind of deeper tones on the recorder, but the best recorder is actually the contrabass recorder, you guys. If you haven't heard the contrabass recorder, you guys are missing out. That's the best recorder. Okay, let's shift down to the alto saxophone. Classical alto saxophone, that is. If you haven't heard it, you guys. But, yeah, we're gonna have to shift that above the automaton as well, obviously. Above the bass guitar. I think over the cello, because I know what the boyfriend of the accordion player, also a good friend of mine, is saxophone player, and he's really really good, and he can make the alto saxophone sound amazing. So we're just gonna accidentally move that above a lot of these instruments. I do think it's gonna end up here, I think. Just below the alto flute, because I prefer the sound of the alto flute. But I can't really make myself place it higher, because obviously the viola is better than the alto saxophone. Yeah, I think we're ending up there. Alright. Yeah, and well, saxophone link. Well, I could ask him. I could definitely ask him to help me out. Okay, we've gotten to the audience, and I put Cage in parentheses on that one. And that's basically because, you know, the piece 4 minutes 33 seconds, the silent piece, everyone knows that one. Basically, the point of that piece was for the sounds of the audience to be like the music itself, like the outrage of the audience. But I just kind of put that because put the cage in the parentheses. Yeah, but the thing is, the bass clarinet is the best instrument, so it can't be number one. But we will definitely put it high up, because audience gang, you guys, the audience gang is definitely higher than all of these. It can be second place. The bass clarinet is obviously the better instrument, but we'll put the audience in second place. They're almost as good as the bass clarinet. Alright, let's shift down again. We have the bagpipe. Okay, hear me out. The otamatone is better than the bagpipe. You guys, that's... I'm not gonna even argue this. I'm gonna take something to drink while you figure that one out. But the otamatone is better than the bagpipe. Like, how can you even consider that the otamatone is... I'm just thinking, imagine if we put the otamatone below the bagpipe. You guys. Alright. I got myself something to drink. It's energy drink, by the way, if anyone's wondering. Oh no! A bagpipe group 2 miles away. Oh no, I would... Oh my god. Yeah, the bagpipe... I do like the bagpipe. It's nothing wrong with the bagpipe. It's just very specific. You can only play the bagpipe with other bagpipes. You can't have it like as an ensemble instrument. Which kind of puts it in a very big disadvantage. So, yeah, I think we're gonna place that below the otamatone. Okay, the balalaika. That's a Russian instrument, to my knowledge, and the only balalaika I've heard live is a contrabass balalaika, and that was amazing. It's with I heard it with the band Katzenjammer. If you've heard about that one, they are really cool, and I like the sound of the balalaika. I definitely like the sound of the balalaika more than the bagpipe, and definitely more than the otamatone and the bass guitar, but I don't think I love it more than the cello. I think we're going below the cello with the balalaika. It's a fun word to say. Try to say balalaika, and you'll realize why I say balalaika all the time. But it's a really great instrument. So, yeah, below the cello, above the bass guitar. So, okay, bandoneon. If you don't know what that is, that's kind of a accordion. It's the instrument that Piazzolla played, and a lot of his music is composed for the bandoneon. For instance, the Oblivion you have bandoneon, and Libertango, I believe, also has bandoneon originally. So we are putting the bandoneon, which is kind of a mini accordion, above the bagpipe and the automaton, and above the bass guitar, and I do think above the balalaika, and probably above the cello as well. I think I would prefer a bandoneon in my wedding over a cello. I'm not sure if I'll put it above the alto recorder. No, I won't put it above the alto recorder. It's not better than the alto recorder. Yeah. Okay, the baritone. If you don't know what a baritone is, it's basically a small tuba. If you play the baritone, it's a very nice horn. It's a small tuba, basically, very tiny tuba. And we like the tiny tuba more than the bagpipe and more than the automaton, and more than the bass guitar, but I don't think we like it more than the balalaika and the cello. So yeah. We gotten down to the baritone saxophone. That's my favorite kind of saxophone, actually. So it's gonna have to come above the alto saxophone. Let's see, all the way up here. Actually, the sound of the alto flute and the baritone saxophone together is a really great sound. I like the sound. I really like the sound. Hi, there's new friends in the chat. Hello. We've gotten to the baritone saxophone. Here's what we have so far. The baritone saxophone is better than the alto saxophone, but do I like it more than the alto flute? I do like it more than the alto flute, I think. Do I like it more than the violin? I do like it more than the violin. I really do. I'm sorry, you guys, but the baritone saxophone, in a classical setting, like, if you make the classical tone, it's a very specific, like, if you use it like you'd use it in jazz, you wouldn't really get that same response from me. But the use of it in pop music, I've heard some pop music, you guys. I rarely ever listen to pop music, but it's been used quite a lot in the pop music I've heard, at least. I don't know if that's universal, but yeah, and it sounds great for that as well. Well, the bass clarinet is the best instrument, so that's why it's up at number 1. Obviously. Okay, yeah, but the baritone saxophone in pop, it sounds cool, and the baritone saxophone in classical music is really cool. So, okay, the next one is the baritone voice, and I feel like that's the most basic male voice there is, because like most males have a baritone voice, and it can be nice. Wow. Well, maybe some more people will show up if you just now got the notification. But okay, the baritone voice. I keep getting distracted by the chat. I'm so sorry. Please keep sending messages in the chat, because that makes my life a lot easier. But we're definitely putting that above the baritone horn. Above the... No. I don't think we're putting it above the balalaika. Balalaika. Yeah, no, we're not putting it above the balalaika, but we're definitely putting it above the baritone horn, because I like guys. Yeah, YouTube has generally been very nice to me so far, so I'm happy about that. Okay, we've gotten all the way down to the bass voice, and I have to say I really love myself a good bass voice. So that's definitely coming quite a bit up. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Are we happy with that? Yeah, I think the alto voice sounds nicer than the bass voice. But I don't really think that the alto recorder is better than the bass voice. So, but it's definitely better than the cello. So, yeah, we're putting it there for now. The bass drum! You guys, I love the bass drum. It's a great drum. Because the cello sounds almost squeaky in the higher register. It might as well be a double bass if you want the lower register. So that's why it's all the way down there at 22. Okay, bass drum. I like the bass drum quite a lot, actually. Do I like it more than the guitar? Yes, I do. Do I like it more than the piano? Yes, I do. Do I like it more than the Erhu? No, I think we're placing it here. Because it's... Okay, the bass drum. Have you guys heard the Super Bowl? I keep talking about the Super Bowl in my percussion videos, but the Super Bowl is the best mallet for percussion. If you haven't heard the Super Bowl being used before, I suggest just after this stream going on YouTube and googling like Super Bowl and then just checking out the Super Bowl mallet on different instruments, because it sounds amazing. I think bass drum and the timpani are the instruments that it's used the most on. They can be used on like the vibraphone and stuff like that as well. So yeah, it's a good instrument. Let's see, we've gotten to the bass recorder. I do like the bass recorder, it sounds good. Definitely coming up to the bass voice. Oh, I accidentally placed it above the alto recorder. Oh no, how could that possibly happen? Oh well, I guess we'll leave it there then. Oops. The bass trombone. I have a good friend who plays the bass trombone. He's really nice. I like him. I do like the bass trombone, but better than the automaton and the bagpipe. Better than the bass guitar. Better than the baritone and the baritone voice. Better than the balalaika. And I guess better than the cello. Bandoneon. Yeah, I do like it better than the bandoneon. And I think I do like it better than the alto recorder as well. Accidentally for sure, yeah. And I do like it better than all of the voices and the bass recorder and the guitar and the piano and the bass drum. Well, the bass trombone, okay. Hear me out. The sound of the bass trombone is also really nice. Like, I love the sound of the bass trombone as well, but but I also have a really good friend who plays the bass trombone. And he's really nice. So he's counting as a positive for the bass trombone. But I also know some people who play the bass trombone who can be less than ideal sometimes. But okay, I don't think I'll place it. Well, yeah, I do think I'll place it actually. I think it's going to come here between the koto and the langeleik. Because I do like the bass trombone more than the langeleik. But I don't like the bass trombone more than the koto. I am biased, I know. I am. I know. Okay, we're moving down again. We've got the bassoon! Oh, I really like the bassoon! The bassoon is a good instrument. It's gonna come up. It's gonna come up. We're definitely loving the bassoon. It's kind of a special sound, but I like that special sound. I like the taste of wood. Have you guys heard John Williams? You know, the guy who composed the Star Wars music and the Harry Potter music and all of that. Have you heard his bassoon concerto? Because that's the bassoon concerto is really great. The John Williams bassoon concerto. It's called, I think, 5 Sacred Trees. And it's the perfect amount of contemporary, in a way. Like, you have the John Williams style, but with some contemporary stuff in it. So I really like that. So that's coming up. We definitely like it more than the alto saxophone. I think also more than the alto flute, actually. Do I like the bassoon more than the violin? I think I do. I don't think I like it more than the baritone saxophone. Yeah, it's coming up to the baritone saxophone. Well, no, the bassoon is not a duck. The oboe is a duck. The oboe is a duck. That's definitely not coming up all the way. Alright, we've gotten to the clarinet. The B-flat clarinet is the regular clarinet, like the one you always see. And we do like the B-flat clarinet, because obviously I play the B-flat clarinet, so I have to like it. I'm a bit biased, but it's okay. It's fine to be biased. This is just my opinion anyway. It's that's why the channel is called My Opinion About Classical Music, because it's just gonna be my opinion. So yeah, it's definitely coming up high, because obviously I play this instrument, so I have to like it. But I actually think I do like it less than the baritone saxophone. Yeah, I do like it less than the baritone saxophone, actually. The sound of the B-flat clarinet. I kind of wish I had the baritone saxophone. I would play the baritone saxophone if I could. And I really think the viola is more practical than the B-flat clarinet. And I like the sound of the double bass more than the clarinet, and the sound of the harp more than the clarinet. And obviously the audience has to be up high, so we like the audience more than the clarinet as well. But the bass clarinet is obviously superior to any other instrument, so that's up high. Let's see, we're going back down. E-flat clarinet. We don't like the E-flat clarinet. We barely like it more than the bagpipe, but we like the automaton better than the E-flat clarinet. So that's just my opinion, alright? The E-flat clarinet is a small clarinet, if you didn't know. It sounds squeaky, and it sounds more like a duck than both the bassoon and the oboe, and practically anyone else. So we're definitely gonna place it there, because, you know, it's not great. We don't love the E-flat clarinet. Alright, B-flat cornet. We like the sound of the B-flat cornet more than the E-flat clarinet and all of those. More than bass guitar, I think. The B-flat cornet is used a lot in brass bands. At least here in Norway. I think there's a lot of orchestra music for it as well, like as a part of the trumpet section usually. But the cornet is used as kind of like the violins are in the orchestra, but in brass bands. So that's coming up. No, we like it less than... I think I'm gonna place it around here somewhere. I think I like it more than the bass voice. Do I like it more than the alto voice though? No, I don't think I do. I think I'm gonna place it with the other, with the alto voice and the bass voice. Alright. Then we have the E-flat cornet. It can sound kinda nice. That's also video about music in Norway. Yeah, there's a lot of video ideas coming up here. I mean, possibly, but I don't think all of it would count as classical music though, so... And the channel is kind of called My Opinion About Classical Music. But wind band music is also classical music. So, and wind band is kind of big in Norway. Definitely bigger than the orchestra. And brass band also has a really strong tradition in Norway. I actually play wind band. I have never played orchestra in myself. I never played in orchestra. But I do have orchestra music experience anyway from the wind band, because we play a lot of orchestral music Yeah, we're putting the E-flat cornet slightly above the E-flat clarinet, but definitely below the automaton. Just for now. Okay, bongos. We don't love the bongos, but we don't mind the bongos either. That's a percussion instrument for those who don't know. We like the bongos more than the baritone voice, I think, but less than the balalaika. Balalaika. Stream about music in Norway. Well, maybe. I'll have to think about how to format that. But if people are interested in music in Norway, I could definitely make a video about that. I mean, yeah, I'll definitely think about that. Alright, we've gotten to the great instrument, the cannon. And the thing about the cannon, okay, I love the idea of cannon in a piece of work. Like, the cannon is a great instrument. I love the idea. Tchaikovsky being like well ahead of his time with putting non-instruments in an orchestra setting. But the thing is, it's difficult to find musicians to play. Like, you don't usually get musicians to play it. It's usually the military or whatever who plays the cannon, and they suck at keeping count. Basically, they have to have a whole... No, we're not putting the cannon all the way up there, but we're definitely putting it above the bagpipe. And I think above these as well, because because it's so epic. Definitely above all of these. We do like the cannons more than all of these as well. I do like the cannons more than the Lange Leik, at least. The cannon. Yeah, we're gonna place it here, I think, in 10th place for now. But that's because it's just so difficult to keep in time, and you can't tune a cannon, obviously. And you gotta have players who are not musicians to play the cannon. You can't have musicians playing the cannon unless they happen to have a military background. So that's why we're placing the cannon not as high as the other things here. It has a lot of drawbacks. But I do like how epic the cannon is, obviously. Like, who wouldn't love... who wouldn't love a cannon in their piece? Like, it's so expensive. Okay, we get to the carillon, and if you don't know what the carillon is, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it even, but it's basically when you have church bells, but with different tones. So it has kind of this church vibe over it. Some people are into religion. I'm not particularly into religion, but the thing about church bells is that all bells basically is that they have very different overtone spectrum to other instruments in general. It's a whole thing, but it doesn't really blend well with other instruments. But it sounds really cool. So I'm definitely going to put it up above the baritone and the baritone voice. Definitely more than the bongos. I think we're around the balalaika somewhere. Do I like it more than the balalaika? No. No, I don't think I do. But it's a nice instrument. Alright, castagnettes. Castagnettes, often used in like Spanish music. You've probably seen Carmen that has castagnettes all over it. But I don't love the castagnettes. I do like it more than the bongos though, so it's definitely coming above the bongos. I think we're talking like barely above the bongos for the castagnettes. Cembalo! I like the cembalo. It's a bit... I like the sound of the cembalo. I don't love the piano layout of the cembalo. Though the cembalo it's actually the piano that has the cembalo layout. It's coming up to the bandoneon, I think. It's a bit slightly above the bandoneon, but I do think the recorder, they kind of belong together actually, because you can play recorder, concerto, or whatever with the cembalo accompaniment, and that will sound awesome. Like that's like the but the thing is, the cembalo, okay, with the piano you have tempered tuning, which means you can play in all keys, but with the cembalo you usually don't do that, so you have only one key you can play in, or otherwise you'll have to tune it, and that's super unpractical. Like, I've never heard of anything less practical than that. So that's kind of why we're not putting the cembalo higher than the piano. Well, I do agree that the cembalo has a better tone than the piano, for sure, but it's just the practicality of it, you know? It's really, really impractical. Yeah, right? The alto recorder and the cembalo, definitely. Okay, we're shifting down again to find the cimbasso. And if you don't know what the cimbasso is, it's basically the love child between a tuba and a trombone. It's a really, really nerdy instrument. It's really, really weird. I don't mind the sound of it. It sounds like any other brass instrument, just a different form shape. It looks weird as hell. If you haven't seen a cimbasso before, Google that one, because that's a weird one. But yeah, it's not awesome. I don't love the cimbasso, so I'm thinking maybe between the baritone voice and the baritone, because I like it better than the baritone, but I don't like it better than the baritone voice, I think. So yeah. Then we have clavus, which basically is sticks, 2 sticks, and you hit them together, and it sounds like 2 sticks being hit together, basically, with some more added timbre to it, but yeah, we like it slightly more than the bongos, I think. I don't know, it's kind of boring. Alright, we get the contrabass clarinet, and look, it's a bass clarinet, so obviously we're talking a good high up for the contrabass clarinet, because obviously it's just a deeper bass clarinet. Definitely better than the bass trombone. We like the contrabass clarinet. You guys, if you don't like the contrabass clarinet, you're wrong. That's just how it's gonna go. The contrabass clarinet, definitely better than the alto flute and the alto saxophone, better than the canon. I think it's better than the violin as well. It kind of just shakes, though. But we like it. I think we're talking 6th place. And that's basically, it kind of just vibrates and you kind of just feel the sound of it. But it's such a nice feeling to have, you know. You have to stand next to it to feel the music, not just hear the music. Okay, so if nobody disagrees with that, we're moving on. We're moving on to the contrabass recorder. Look, I put it in. Oh man, that's coming up. We do like the contrabass recorder. Actually, we can... and definitely more than that. We do like it definitely more than the alto recorder. Contrabass recorder, oh my god, it's just a big, like, tree. Let's see. Okay, we're coming up pretty high. Obviously, you can't disagree with the clarinets being high. No, you're absolutely right. The clarinets are gonna be high, because obviously they're a great instrument. But okay, the contrabass recorder. Bass drum. The thing about the contrabass recorder is that it's more... well, The alto recorder isn't supreme, clearly, because yeah. But okay, the contrabass recorder is better than Long Like, but I don't think it's better than the bass trombone. So we're gonna place it here for now, at least. I'm going to go over it all after I'm done. Alright, contrabassoon. Oh, it's definitely coming up. The contrabassoon. It's the deepest, the lowest wind instrument, I think. If you count like the instruments that happen to be around quite a lot. Did all the chat people disappear? I feel like I haven't seen you guys. That might just be my internet being too slow to both stream and do the chat, but I don't know. Okay, we like the contrabassoon more than the bassoon, and we like the contrabassoon more than the B-flat clarinet, but I don't think we like it more than the baritone saxophone. Because kind of the baritone saxophone has a very special timbre, but the contrabassoon just kind of is there in the timbre. So I'm just gonna go with this order for now. This is gonna be a long stream, you guys. We've already been going for like an hour. So I hope you guys brought snacks. Let's see. We are almost halfway there. So we're getting somewhere. Okay, counter alto. So that's basically a super deep alto voice. And who doesn't love a super deep alto voice, you guys? I love a super deep alto voice. I love it more than the alto voice, I think. So that's definitely coming up. Here, I think. Because I think it's nicer. No, I think it's actually like this. Because I think it's nicer than the guitar. But I don't think it's nicer than the piano. Because the piano is kind of, yeah. So I think we're going to place it there. And then we have the countertenor, which is a super high male voice. Which can be really nice. It's kind of like the cello. It's cool if you kind of don't overstep your boundaries, you know. So it's I feel like we're below the recorders for that one. I'm below the bass voice and all of that, so I'm below the cembalo. But I think it's better than the bandoneon. So let's see. We've gotten to the crash cymbal. I don't really love the crash cymbal. It has an effect in some places, but I don't really like it. So I'm just gonna, yeah. It's not coming higher than the E-flat clarinet because the E-flat clarinet is definitely better than the crash cymbal. I'm going to say it's different for the suspended cymbal, which I think is coming up, but for the crash, yeah, we're not going higher. The crotales, yeah, that's coming up because that's a really it's kind of small carillons. So we're better than the carillon, better than the cello, obviously. And yeah, it's actually quite high up because I like the sound of it. It kind of has a bell kind of sound, but it's clearer than the bell sound in many ways. So I think we're actually all the way up here maybe. Yeah, I think so. Okay, we have the didgeridoo. I'm gonna need your help with that one because I don't really know. I've never heard the didgeridoo in a classical setting before. I know there is a didgeridoo concerto, but I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Are there any people in the chat anymore, or have you all left? sounds like. Not above cello. No, I agree. I really like the low tone of the didgeridoo, but I don't think it's cool enough to qualify to be higher than the cello. I do think the didgeridoo is above the automaton and the bass guitar, but I'm okay, maybe a bit higher than the baritone as well, but not higher than the cimbasso. Still in the chat, still fighting for cello and for alto recorder. Oh no, I'm sorry about that one. The thing is, you're wrong. That's the thing, the cello and the alto recorder isn't better, and I'm willing to fight over that. Let's see, we got into the English horn, which is basically... Yeah, I think I just kind of placed the didgeridoo between the cimbasso and the baritone, but I'm a bit indifferent about the didgeridoo. It's cool. Like, yeah. But okay, the English horn, it's basically an oboe with an egg stuck in the end, but I still like the sound of it quite a lot. So it's definitely coming up above some of these. I think we're higher than the cello and the alto recorder. And we're higher than... Yeah, higher than the alto voice. I'm thinking maybe like... Maybe here? The English horn has a really kind of... duck-ish sound, but with some tone. So it's not as great as like the bass trombone or the alto saxophone or something, but it has a very... I like the timbre. It kind of feels like a wood timbre, and I like that. So we're putting it there. Next up is the euphonium. And guys, I like the euphonium. The euphonium is a great instrument. It's not used in the orchestra setting. Not a lot, at least. I think there's like some Mahler and stuff has some euphonium, but it's basically a small tuba, for those who don't know. And we like the tuba, so obviously it's going to come up pretty high. The sound of the euphonium, it could be really nice. It's kind of rounded. And I like the round. I like it more than the bass trombone, I think. Do I? Yeah, I do. Do I like it more? Yeah, I do. I like it more than this. Do I like it more than the saxophone? Yeah, I do. Do I like it more than the alto flute? No, I don't think I do. We're definitely around here with the euphonium. So let's just go with that. Next up... Oh, I think I scrolled past it. Hold up. Flygelhorn! Okay, the flygelhorn is basically a kind of a trumpet or a cornet, but bigger and rounder and smoother and nicer. So we're gonna go above the cornets at least. It's just a nice trumpet thing. It looks like a trumpet. Kind of. But not really. So I think, I mean, it's just a nice cornet. It's better than the cornet, but it's not awesome, you know? I like it more than the alto voice actually, but I don't think I like it more than the guitar. I like the timbre of the guitar more than the cornet. So that's how that's gonna go. Let's shift down again and find what's next. Flute! Okay, we like the sound of flutes, so we're definitely moving that one up. The flute, 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 flute. Have you heard Syrinx by Debussy? Debussy? That's a really nice one. You should check that out if you haven't heard it. It's written S-Y-R-I-N-X, I think. And it sounds awesome. It's got really low tones in the beginning, and I like that. I like the low tones in the flute. That's why the alto flute is the superior flute. And if you haven't heard bass flute and contrabass flute, then you should check that out as well. I'm just keep telling you guys to go check stuff out. I feel like maybe some of you did that when I said it, and you kind of fell off. But that's fine. Okay, the French horn, that's like the drama instrument. Definitely above the baritone voice. Definitely, well, I think we're around cello actually, because it sounds nice in some registers, but other instruments it's like a bit meh. The cool thing about French horn is that Keith from the Try Guys, I don't know if you guys watch the Try Guys, but I do occasionally at least. And he plays the French horn, and he's kind of cool. And I know a bunch of people who play the French horn who are cool. And the instrument sounds nice. It can sound a bit harsh in the higher registers. But apart from that, I think we're good placing it below the cello, because I think I'd prefer the cello over the French horn. So then we have the Glockenspiel, and I like the Glockenspiel, so it's coming up. No, I'm not ranking the musicians. I'm ranking the instrument, but I've also used the musicians as examples. I'm not ranking the musicians. I just explain why I'm biased. Oh, and while I talked about that, the Glockenspiel just kind of flew all the way up here. Oh no, how could this happen? Oh no. Oh no. Oh well, that happens. Oops. Oops. Or as I would say in Norwegian, oisam. So yeah, okay. The gong, these are tuned. That's we'll get the tam tam further down, and those are untuned. So the gongs are actually tuned. So the tuned gongs, those are really cool. So we're going to shift that above the castanets at least. I think I don't like the tuned gongs more than the carillon. Though I think the gong is more practical than the carillon. So yeah, we're shifting it up because I like it more than the cello. Poor cello. I don't mind cello. Cello is nice, I promise. I'm not trying to hate on the cello. It's just that there's a bunch of instruments that are better than the cello. Yeah, definitely better than the bass recorder and the cornet. And the... Wait, what? How did the cornet go below the alto voice? Well, maybe that's not too bad actually. No, I like the cornet more than the alto voice. But anyway, the gong, that's what I was actually doing. I feel like we're below the contralto, because have you heard like a super low female voice? That's, whew, we love that. Okay, we just place it there. Okay, we're going to do the hammer. Okay, the hammer. I love the idea of the hammer, but the thing is, I believe in the score, he didn't actually write a hammer. I think he wrote like a specific sound, and it's tradition to interpret it as the hammer. But it's not as cool as the cannons. It's really cool, but it's not as cool as the cannons. It's basically just a big percussion instrument, like with a big mallet. It's just for show, for the most part. So, I mean, better than the bagpipe. I think I like it more than the crash cymbal as well, because the crash cymbal is like a bit overused. But I can't justify placing it over the E-flat clarinet or the E-flat cornet. Or the automaton. Automaton? Automaton. Yeah, the thing is, the hammer is a percussion instrument, right? So the way you would write the score for the hammer is basically you just place. You can either specify the sound, which I believe he did in the score. I haven't looked it up, so don't take my word for it alone. But you basically just put the instrument as a hammer and then you write it as a percussion instrument. I believe the hammer is unpitched, so it's quite simple. You just use like X note heads, kind of like you would with a cymbal or whatever, or a bass drum. Well, bass drum don't always use X note heads, but yeah. Okay, the handpan. We're gonna have to move on because the stream has already been lasting for like an hour and 50 minutes. So handpan. Okay, handpan. Let's do some quick fire ones. The handpan. That's a really nice instrument. I think we're going up here. The Hardangerfiddle. That's another Norwegian instrument. It's basically a elaborate violin with some extra strings that keep sounding. Basically an elaborate violin, which is. It's a really nice instrument. If you haven't, it's kind of a bit sharper in the sound, but it's still pretty cool. I think we're around here. I think it's got some really nice like painting on it and stuff. Usually, it kind of depends on the Hardangerfiddle, but usually it's got a really nice painting and a really nice folky tone. And there are actually several concertos, like with the orchestra for the Hardangerfiddle. Harmonica. I don't love the harmonica. It's cool in some settings, but yeah, I think we're not gonna be able to go higher than that. The kalimba is basically a box with some metal taps on it. It sounds super nice, but it sounds really quiet, so you can't really hear it if you play it with other instruments. But it's... yeah, I like the sound of the kalimba more than the cello and the cembalo. I think we're gonna put it here actually, because I like it less than the bass recorder but more than the alto recorder. With about the wild orchestra instruments I keep googling. Well, I don't know which instruments you keep googling, but I had to google a few of these instruments myself actually. The carillon, for instance, I didn't know what was until I was gonna make this live stream. The carillon I discovered is a really nice instrument. Which other instruments did I have to Google? I don't remember, but yeah, definitely. I could make some special instrument video. I already kind of talked about a lot of these though in this stream. But okay, we have the kazoo. The kazoo is another of those play kind of instruments around the automaton, but it doesn't sound great. It just sounds like buzzing. I do think it's well placed below the bagpipe. I think the bagpipe is nicer than the kazoo. And if you want to fight me on this, I'm open for discussion on that, but I do think the bagpipe is better than the kazoo. Okay, we have the lur, and that's another Norwegian instrument. And why do I keep putting Norwegian instruments in here? That's because I'm obviously from Norway. Yeah, so the lur. That's basically a kind of a horn. It's played in the same way all the brass instruments would be played, but it doesn't really have many different tones. Kind of like the mix between a horn and a didgeridoo, I guess. And it was used to communicate over long distances because of... yeah. But the lur. Yeah, the lur, I think... I think the lute doesn't come high up. That's just because it doesn't have much tone. That's just 1 or 2 tones, I think. I haven't really tried playing the lute, and I haven't really heard the lute live. But the lute is really... it's mainly for communication over long distances. Okay, the lute. It's a nice kind of guitar-like instrument. It was the OG guitar. It has a bent neck, and it sounds pretty nice. And lute and recorder, since we have a recorder fan in the chat, we're definitely gonna put it up. Oh, I just skipped all the recorders. Hold on. Yeah, I do like the lute more than the bass recorder. I don't like it as much as... Well, no, I don't like it as much as the guitar. Or any of these, I think. But it's around the recorder country. It's the recorder country kind of area. So, yeah, we're gonna place it there. Let's see then what more we can do. We have next up is the lyre. And I'm not talking about the liar as in someone who lies, but lyre as a small harp, I suppose. And the lyre is a small harp, and it sounds pretty nice. It's only got the high pitch of the harp though, so it's not gonna go all the way up. But I think we're around... I think we're around here somewhere. I think... yeah, I think we're here, actually. Lyre, lyre burns on fire. Well, I don't think the lyre would burn that well. Well, maybe... Well, okay, here's the thing. Everyone keeps joking that the clarinets burn well, and that's why they're worse than other instruments. But the thing is, the clarinets don't burn. They burn really, really badly. Like, if you try to set fire to a clarinet, it doesn't work. And, like, it's just so... The wood is so dense. There's no air coming in. So you can't. You can't burn a clarinet. Okay, the maracas. It's a boring percussion sound. So it's gonna be... I don't know. Somewhere around here, I guess. Boring percussion sound. Well, it can be interesting, so... There, maybe? No, I don't like it more than the E-flat clarinet. Come on. But it's... no, it's coming back down. It's coming around there, I guess. The maracas? Oh, did I try to burn the clarinet? No, wait. The chat is a bit delayed. No. No? No? I want to say no. But, yeah. Well, no, I'm not... No. No! I did not. Roasting the 100 instruments. Yeah. I am roasting all the instruments, am I not? Except the bass clarinet, because that's obviously the best instrument. Okay, the marimba. We like the marimba. The marimba is coming up. Woo! All the way. No, well... yeah, it's coming up above these. The marimba sounds nice. If you have an iPhone, that's the sound of the basic ringtone, I think. I don't have an iPhone, but I like the kalimba more than the marimba. They have similar origins, actually. That's why they have a very similar sounding name. But I like the sound of the kalimba more than the marimba. So we're putting it below the kalimba. Okay, mezzo-soprano voice. It's definitely better than a soprano voice, but I think that's about the best I can tell you about that. And it's better than the E-flat clarinet and the E-flat cornet. Um, yeah, I don't think I like it more than the baritone actually, because I don't know, it's kind of a in-between kind of voice, and it's a bit boring. It's kind of a not as fun alto, and not as high soprano. But we can grab the... wait. You can grab the soprano voice and put it just below the mezzo-soprano voice right away, because that's gonna come up here. Like so, because I prefer the mezzo-soprano voice to the soprano voice. But because the soprano voice is kind of the same reasoning as with the cello, it sounds just in the top, and they always use too much vibrato, and I don't love the vibrato on the voice. I get it's kind of necessary in some situations, but you know. So let's see, where were we? We were getting to the oboe. Yeah, a lot of people I know like the oboe quite a lot, actually, but I don't really love the oboe quite a lot. I love it more than some of these instruments, but I don't really like the oboe all that much. It's definitely worse than the cello. The cello is way nicer. And the balalaika is nicer. The handpan is nicer. The lyre is nicer. The carillon, but I don't think it's worse than the castagnettes. So yeah, 51 for now. That sounds good. The soprano recorder, it's the most boring recorder and the most squeaky one. And that's the one they'll give to all the kids. They like the oboe because they think it has a nice tone, but I think they just like the solos that the oboe has been given, and that's why they like the oboe. And the oboe can be nice in specific settings, and it has a lot of good repertoire, but it's very... the sound sounds kind of pressed. That's why I don't really love the oboe. Let's see, I forgot where I was. The ocarina, that's also a nice instrument. I like the hollowness of that sound. But I don't think... Well, I do like it more than the soprano recorder, actually. Yeah, the soprano recorder, that's the one they give to all the kids. That's why it's placed all the way down here. And also it sounds kind of squeaky. I'm sorry about that one, but I can't really with the soprano recorder. The organ! Okay, we love the organ. The organ is a nice instrument. I don't like the organ in the church setting. It's used really, really poorly in the church setting. Like, you have so much nice sound you can make with the organ, and you use it to play like boring stuff. So you have to go into the contemporary organ music to really get the nice stuff. But it really has a lot of nice repertoire in the contemporary stuff. So it's coming up to just about the piano, I think, actually. Yeah, I think organ is better than the piano. But it kind of depends on the setting. Oh, really? They have to... I got a recorder. I own a soprano recorder that I got from school. The school gave it to me. So... I will compose some nice stuff for organ. I just need an organ player and some time. Let's see. We got into the pan flute, and that's also a nice tone. So we're going to shift that up. Pan flute. That's kind of the several tubes kind of flute. It looks super impractical to play, but it's got a nice sound, so we are gonna place it here, I think. We like the sound better than the oboe. The oboe is... The piccolo! Okay, hear me out. The piccolo is the squeakiest instrument of all, but I like it. The piccolo is super squeaky, and it's super high, and it's like shrill and everything, but we like how special it is. That's what we like about the piccolo, and for a octave with the flute, it sounds awesome, but it's not gonna be all the way up with the other flutes. Obviously, we're gonna place it around there, I think, actually. Yeah, we're gonna place it there. It's a good placement. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting to the rain stick, and if you don't know what the rain stick is, it's basically a hollow stick with some stuff in it, and when you flip it over, it sounds like it's raining. And everyone likes the sound of rain. That's why they have it for all the calming like sounds and stuff. So that's why we're shifting that up. I believe it's actually from South America originally. I think either South America or Africa. Possibly both. Okay, we're not that high actually. We're going to be around... just below the balalaika actually. The balalaika. We like the sound of the word the balalaika. Okay, we got to the shofar. And that's a Jewish instrument. It's kind of a buckhorn, I think. That's played before, I think, prayer and stuff. And I've listened to it. This was actually an instrument that was suggested to me. And I hadn't heard it before, so I listened to it and I figured it out and stuff. And I liked the tone. I really like how it's played. It's a really interesting instrument, but it's not used too much in an ensemble setting, obviously. So that's kind of what's pulling it down a bit. But I think we're above the otamatone. And I think we're actually good, just above the otamatone. Okay, snare drum. It's the most basic. It's the only drum you can say have a Western European origin. Most of the percussion setting is a percussion group, a percussion section have a international origin. That's just how it happens to be, that we steal instruments from other cultures to put into our orchestra. But the snare drum has a Western European origin. So, and that's probably the only percussion instrument I think that does have a Western origin. The tambourine, it has some interesting uses and it works really well for a bunch of stuff, but it's not like super interesting. We've gotten to the soprano saxophone. That's my second favorite saxophone, so that's gonna come up all the way up. Why did I place it so far down originally? It's gonna take so long to get it all the way up to the top. Soprano saxophone. It's kind of got the duckish sound of the English horn and the oboe, but it's rounder, so it doesn't sound as shrill. So it's definitely somewhere around here. I like it less than the B-flat clarinet. I like it less than the bassoon. I like it less than the violin, but definitely more than the canon and the alto flute. Yeah, that's a good placement. Let's shift back down. Did you guys die in the chat? I'm so sorry if I'm just... I feel like maybe the stream is a bit long, but that might just be because I have to talk all the time. How are you guys holding up? Are you still alive? I would hope so. I hope I didn't, like, unalive any of you. Well, I'm going to place the suspended symbol while you guys figure that out. Figure out if you're alive still. Good. I'm sorry, I just feel like I'm talking to myself when there's no one in the chat. Which, I mean, I do talk to myself a lot, but this is getting a bit intense. The suspended symbol. Yeah, we're going here, I think. Except the Alto recorder thing. Well, the Alto recorder is above average. Oh no, is the chat so delayed? I really tried to have that fixed, but it didn't really work, did it? Oh well. The YouTube thing says that it's 4 people watching. So hi to all 4 of you. It's really nice that people here. Let's see, where were we? We were all the way down here to the tam tam. Oh yeah, that's the unpitched gong, basically. We prefer the pitched gong, but the unpitched gong is also nice. Yeah, I don't think we can place it higher actually, because it's just a big whoosh sound, and the shofar is definitely more interesting than the whoosh. But yeah, okay, we're going with that. We've gotten to the tenor voice. I feel like that's kind of in the cello country. Like, I don't love it all that much. I feel like it's more over the shofar, and I feel like it's above the bass guitar, slightly above the soprano recorder and the ocarina. But I like it less than the soprano voice, so it can't go higher than that. It just stops on its own. Let's see, we got the tenor recorder. Let's shift it up to where let's shift it up to where it belongs. Yeah. Woo, we're soaring. Whoop. Soaring up. Yee. Tenor recorder, there's the alto recorder. I do like the tenor recorder more than the marimba and the kalimba. I don't like it more than the bass recorder, so it's gonna stop below the bass recorder. The bass recorder is the best recorder out of the no, the contrabass recorder is actually better. Yeah, we got the contrabass recorder up there. I like that better than the other recorders. Okay, the tenor saxophone is the worst saxophone out of all the saxophones. I think we're actually below the automaton. I do like the automaton more than the tenor saxophone. And that's not to say that the tenor saxophone is bad. It's just that it's the most boring saxophone. It's got such a weird range, and it sounds just airy and hollow, and I don't know. I don't like the sound of the tenor saxophone. It's just Okay, the theremin is a really cool instrument. It's not really a practical instrument because the space around it affects the sound quite a lot. Yeah, the tenor saxophone is below the automaton actually. I know. It's whoo. Yeah, the theremin, that's where I was. We're definitely going a bit higher with the theremin because it's a cool instrument and it sounds cool, and it's in the Doctor Who intro, I think. In the nearer ones at least. But I think we're think we're here actually. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What do we have? The timpani! We like timpani. The timpani is coming quite a way up. Timpani! Timpani, timpani. Bum, 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 bum. Ba, ba, ba. Ba-da. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, you know the timpani. And it sounds really great with a Super Bowl on it. So that's kind of why it's coming all the way up here. And it can be tuned, which is a plus. We like the timpani more than all of these actually. We do like the timpani more than the bass drum, obviously. More or less than the erhu. I feel like it's over the glockenspiel, so yeah. We're coming up really high with the timpani. I actually think it's gonna be here. Yeah, the timpani is gonna be there. We're gonna place it there. That's good. Okay, we've gotten to tom tom, and that's if you've heard a drum kit. You have they play like a middle part where it's do-dum, 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 boom, doom, doom, and then they kind of continue with their drum beat. It's the do-dum, do-dum sound of that. So it's a kind of a bongo, but you play it with a stick. I don't know. So it should be around the bongos, in my opinion. So the tom-tom. Important to distinguish between the tom-tom and the tam-tam. Those are two very different instruments. And if you... Yeah, the timpani is the best percussion instrument, I think. Timpani is a really, really cool instrument, and it's completely underrated. Okay, we've gotten to the trombone, which I don't really love, but it's pretty decent. Pretty decent. The trombone is pretty decent. Trombone is better than the baritone. And it's slightly better than the didgeridoo, and better than the cimbasso, obviously. But I don't think I can justify going all the way up to the oboe. So it's gonna stay there. Let's see, we've got the triangle. Do we have any triangle gang people in the chat? Any triangle people? The triangle has a lot of techniques. I didn't know about this until quite recently, where I was placed in a percussion group where I had to play the triangle, and I learned at least 2 techniques just while playing one piece in a percussion group. So it's gonna go a bit high, I think. People are like, oh no, it's just the most easy instrument, and they just don't understand the trouble of playing the triangle. So I'm gonna... Yeah, we're going here, I think. No, it's worse than the balalaika. The balalaika is better. Alright, let's see then. We have trumpet. My brother plays the trumpet, and my little brother plays the trumpet. I like it kind of better than a lot of these instruments, but it's not my favorite sound. It's a sound, it's cool for fairs and stuff. It's kind of piercing. You can get a round sound, but why would you want to just... Where the hell did I put the... There it is, okay. We're getting it up to the cornet, because it's kind of the same instrument, except the cornet is a tube that gets gradually bigger, while the trumpet is a straight tube. The difference in sound is not that big, but the B-flat cornet sounds slightly better than the trumpet. So that's why it's placed below the cornet. And usually the same players play the cornet and the trumpets. Unless they play wind band or brass band, then they usually just play one of them. Let's see, we've gotten to the tuba, and the tuba is a great instrument. We love the tuba. I have so many friends who play the tuba, and they've really taught me how to love the sound of the tuba. It's really got a lot of interesting techniques, and it's carrying all the ensembles it's in. So it's basically the best brass instrument, obviously. Let's see, we're going all the way up. Definitely above the Lange Leik and the Glockenspiel. Definitely above all of these. It's better than the small tuba, also known as the euphonium. It's better than the flutes. We like it more than the cannon. We like it more than the soprano saxophone. And I think we're ending up here, actually. Because I can't justify putting it above the violin and stuff. But it's really, really high up, in my opinion. It's the best. If I put any brass instruments higher than the tuba, you guys gotta watch out for me, because the tuba is the best brass instrument. So if I don't put it, if I put anything else above, any brass instruments above the tuba, you gotta tell me I'm wrong, because I'm wrong. Okay, the tubular bells. They are really, really nice percussion instrument. I like the sound of it. It kind of sounds like church bells. It's kind of the boring church bells. But it's not... I mean, they're... I feel like they're just around the carillon, you know? Because they're kind of the same type of instrument. Just the carillon is a lot less practical than the tubular bells. So it's just the same sound, but the practicality of it kind of makes it slightly better. Okay, the ukulele. I like the sound of the ukulele. It's a sweet sound. Kind of get the no worries feel from the ukulele. That's why we're shifting that quite high up. I do like the ukulele more than the guitar, for instance, so we gotta find the guitar. Unless I already passed it, I can't remember. Let's see. Ukulele. Definitely going above the lute with the ukulele. There's the guitar. We're gonna go above the gongs as well, or above the counteralto, but the combination of the ukulele and the counteralto is pretty nice, because you get the high-pitched string sound, but the low-pitched voice, but it's a female voice. So it's... yeah, I think this is a good combination of instruments. If you, I think also for pop music, actually, that would be a good combination of instruments. Or you could use like a male baritone, for instance. That could also be really nice. Okay, the vibraphone, that's an amazing instrument. We're gonna put that all the way up. Just give me a second. This is gonna take a bit. Let's see, there. It's gonna be all the way up, because it's a great... have you heard like the vibraphone but with its motor going? Because the vibraphone with its motor going is really, really nice. It's got kind of a wah 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 sound. And we like the wah 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 sound. Kind of calming. So it's going to come up definitely above the Glockenspiel. The Glockenspiel is too shrill. I think we're around the timpani here, actually. But I do like the vibraphone more than the alto saxophone, but not necessarily more than the euphonium. So yeah, that's where we're gonna place that one. Let's shift down. We don't have many instruments left. We only have 2 instruments left. The xylophone and the oboe d'amore. And the wind chimes, but we don't like the wind chimes. And the whistling. The wind chimes it can sound nice. I think we're there with the wind chimes. Just because... have you ever had wind chimes standing up in the back of your car and then try to drive somewhere? Because I have, and after just a few hours of that, you start hating the hating the wind chimes, and that happened to me. So I don't like the wind chimes. It's good in very specific context, but I think it's a bit overused in the orchestra and especially the wind band setting. It's overused. The wind chimes aren't that good, and it's really just the page turn in the audiobook for children sound. So yeah, we don't like that. Okay, let's do the... I think we're going to do the xylophone, but because that's not going to go too high up. It's kind of a boring marimba. Like less tone on the marimba. So I actually think we're here, actually. I don't think we're going to go higher with the xylophone. It's just a high-pitched, boring marimba. Okay, we're gonna do... Let's do whistling last, because I like making... that's something everyone can do, right? So I feel like that applies to a lot of people. And while I'm talking about whistling, I'm going to move the oboe d'amore where it belongs. Yeah, but everyone can whistle, or a lot of people can whistle. Most people can whistle, actually. And it's really, really a sweet sound. You kind of have some associations with people whistling in certain situations and stuff. But it's kind of high-pitched and a bit shrill, but it's really cool in... Like, if you have a group whistling together, it's really, really nice to listen to. It's a bit difficult to compose for it, though. But... yeah, whistling has... roots in a lot of cultures. Oh, Peppa Pig can't whistle. Oh, I didn't know that, actually. I have never watched Peppa Pig for long enough to learn anything about Peppa Pig. I have been told that my niece and nephew like Peppa Pig. I don't love Peppa Pig all that much. She's sweet. But I can whistle. I'm not going to do it because you guys will go deaf. But, okay, we're not putting whistling above cello. I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention while I'm doing stuff. It's above triangle, but below the balalaika, I think. So, okay, I think actually that's all the instruments. Have I forgotten anything? No, I don't think I have. Alright, let's go through the list. Okay, the bass clarinet obviously is the best instrument. Audience, nobody would have any jobs if it wasn't for audience gang, so that's why they're second place. Harp, we like the harp. It's a really nice instrument, but and the double bass is obviously the best string instrument that's used with a bow. The harp is the best string instrument, but the double bass is, yeah. The contrabass obviously gotta be pretty high up. The tuba is the best brass instrument. I didn't put anything above the tuba, did I? No. And the baritone saxophone is the best saxophone, clearly. Alto flute, and of course the canon. I feel like that's a bit high placed, actually. I feel like we gotta shift that down a bit, because the canon isn't that special. I like the vibraphone more than I think the canon is cool. So the canon is coming down below the timpani, I think. Okay, we have the accordion. No, the canon isn't as cool as the accordion, actually. The canon, the Cortalis, yes. I still haven't decided whether the Koto or the Guzheng, which one of these are coolest, but because I know the Guzheng the most, I think the Guzheng is gonna be higher. But the Koto is, these are very, very closely placed. The canon is special, it's number 21 on 100, so it's higher than like most instruments. Okay, the bass trombone. I like the sound of the bass trombone. It's a really nice sound. And the contrabass recorder is the best recorder, obviously. Langeleic. I feel like Langeleic is a bit high placed actually. I do think I like the Glockenspiel more than the Langeleic. I do think I like the Erhu more than Langeleic. There we go. But not less than the bass drum. The organ is better than the piano. The piano is kind of I'm a bit about the piano. The Hardanger fiddle, a really nice fancy violin basically, with some extra strings. If you haven't heard any Hardanger fiddle, you can Google that as well. I say to Google a lot of instruments, but just trust me, just do it. English horn, ukulele and counteralto combination. Yes, please. The flugelhorn is clearly the best trumpet. The voices, the alto is the best. Well, the counteralto is the best voice, but then you have the alto as the best regular voice. Whistling coming quite high, but that's mainly because... Oh, hi! Someone new in the chat. Oh, it's 4 in the morning. Oh, I'm so sorry I placed it in such a impractical time. Hello, we're almost finished, so if you want to watch the ending, we're just going through the list right now. So, yeah, hi! Thank you for dropping by. I'm so happy you dropped by, even though it's like 4 in the morning. Where everyone watching from? Since it's 4 in the morning, where would that be? Oh no. Oh no, that's so late. I'm so sorry. But yeah, okay, we were going through. The rain stick. Cool instrument. It sounds like rain. Everyone likes this calming sound of rain. Actually, I think we like the rain stick more than the triangle. The handpan, really nice instrument. Kind of the Little Mermaid vibes. The snare drum is the only Western invented percussion instrument in the orchestra, I believe. The carillon is an impractical instrument. Oh wow, you guys are just catching the ending of the stream now. It's we're going through the list. I'm going to scroll through it again, but I'm just correcting the list for now. Thank you for dropping by. Oh, California. Oh yeah. That's... Yeah, I'm sorry. I could have probably moved the stream a bit back, but it was more practical for me to have it at this time, so that's why we're doing it now, but you're welcome to stay for the ending. I'm sorry about the time difference. Would be so much easier if we just had the same time all over, right? Okay, the tom-tom and the bongos. I feel like the bongos are too high placed. We're shifting the bongos down. Below the didgeridoo, I think, because that's what I think. Yeah, do I see anything that's not? I feel like the lute is better than the maracas. Yeah, the kazoo. I feel like the poor kazoo. It's not that bad, but it's also like, I don't love the kazoo. It's feels like a toy, you know? So yeah, let's just scroll through the list, and then anyone new in the chat can just tell me if they see something they're like, what about? Because yeah, let me know. This is the last time I'll be scrolling through the list, so it's the last chance to come with anything that they don't agree with. Okay, let's see. Oh, anyone having anything? Kazoo number 100. Yeah, no talent required. You're absolutely right. We're scrolling through the list. I don't know how delayed the chat is, but I'm pretty sure the stream is slightly delayed. Theremin, yeah, it's coming up, I think. I can't remember exactly where I placed it. Violin only number 11. Yeah, the thing is there's a lot of good instruments in the orchestra and in other places. But there's the theremin, by the way, in 66. And yeah, the violin is too squeaky. That's where it's losing. The violin is it's too high pitched, and it's the viola is just above the violin, actually, because we like the soft sound of the viola above the violin. So that's a bit controversial, but yeah. Okay, we got to the bottom. Let's see. Okay, we're just going back up. We have the reason for the bass clarinet is because it's the best instrument, obviously. Then we have audience, because nobody would have any jobs if it wasn't for audience gang. The harp clearly is an amazing instrument. Double bass is the best string instrument. Viola is placed above the violin because it sounds a lot sweeter, you know. I lived with a violist for a year, and the violists work hard. Like the violinists, they don't. I can't believe they work as hard as the violist. So, yeah. Well, the bagpipe. The thing is, the bagpipe is really nice for some situations. I haven't placed it really high. It's like third last. But the bagpipe can be nice in very, very specific situations, while the kazoo and the wind chimes are less ideal. The wind chimes, I just don't like the wind chimes. That's the thing. The wind chimes is like a little bit overused, and also it's just a random sound, you know? So yeah, but the bagpipe is like third last, so it's not like that great. It's okay. It's not wow, we love bagpipe, but it's like yeah. So yeah, I think that will be it for today, you guys. I've been streaming for 2 hours now. My throat is so dry. Really? Oh wow. Well, okay. This is gonna be it for today. I've been streaming for 2 hours. I'm so exhausted, but it's been so nice. Thank you guys again for 100 subscribers. I hope you guys will stick around for the next stream, which will likely be on 1,000 subscribers. And at that time, that's gonna be so. I'm not sure if I can dream to ever get to 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Yeah, I actually, you say drink water, but I actually have an energy drink to keep me awake and energized throughout the stream. But I've been streaming for 2 hours straight now. So it's time to head out, I think. Yeah. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and I really hope to see you in the comment section of my next video, which is coming on Wednesday, as usual. I'll probably do a premiere as well, and if any one of you haven't subscribed, well, do subscribe. That would be really great if you did. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the comment section and in the next video, and hopefully on the next stream. Thank you again. Goodbye.